Alright guys, so I'm back here for the WSOB World Championship again. And this time it's part 6, which means that it is the first block of the Scorpion Championship. And in the Scorpion Championship, I learned a lot of things from this event. Number one is you don't always have to there's a bunch of different strategies involved in bowling. And once you get to a place where you can hit your target a lot over time, it's you don't have to follow the norm or whatever. Just kind of do what's best for you, or what you believe is best out there. That's kind of what I fully believe. I don't really know how else to explain it other than that. But regardless, game one here, I used the GB4 hybrid because I saw people breaking them down from in. So I said, okay, I'm going to use the GB4 hybrid from there. And it was striking in practice, so I'm like, it should be okay for competition. And I tried a bunch of other balls too, like the Cypher. And I thought, okay, GB4 from in looks best. And then I went 9 spare, 7-10. I'm like, okay, now I'm going to go to Cypher because I think that it was just going a little bit too long. And then the Cypher looked good for 2 frames. After that, I made a bad shot, but not that bad, in a 2-8-10. And then, of course, the 4-6-7 and 3-4-6-7. And then I went to the effect after this because I also tried it in practice, and I tried it in the practice session. And I remember that it looked pretty good on fresh. Also, there were a couple of other people throwing it around me. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to give this one a little chance here from farther right. And sure enough, it was solid. I mean, had I started out with that probably in this block, maybe it would have been a little different. I don't know that for sure. But regardless, that was just not a very good game. I mean, obviously it was a good save, but when the pace is 230, shooting 180, I mean, you're just dead almost. You're literally just dead. Because it's you just can't get a couple opens in a row. Unless you're going to shoot 279, 279, 279 to get there. That kind of thing. Regardless, this was my experience, and I'm happy to relay it and put it out there. I mean, clearly the effect was the ball. I mean, that was really far right. A couple were in and a couple were really far right, and they both kind of did the same thing. They both ended up in the same places. For me, that looked best. But, such is life. And now we've got, at least we've kind of recovered here and got spare 4-bagger, spare, potentially spare. But, yeah. Now it's time to get out of it because, well, I'm pretty far left. And I'm pretty sure that it's the ball. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be the ball. Which means that I'm like, okay, I want to go to something a little slow. I don't really want to get too far left, so I want to go to something slower but still pearl. That kind of thing. And I thought that the fireball would be good. And obviously I got a lucky strike in the 8th frame there. But then I backed up with a nice double and everything that probably should have carried, but regardless, it didn't. And that was a makeup for going to that beastly Brooklyn. So yeah, the fireball looked good for that game, and then that's a tough start. You never want to see your ball do that when you go to the next pair. It's just not hook at all. Because did it burn up or did it hook or what happened? Why is it and then I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Of course, I slowed down and then I just split. I'm like, great. That's just great. And then I slowed down here even more, and yeah. So I'm like, okay, it's got to be the ball again because, I threw that. I didn't throw them horrible, and only one struck. So it's all right, man. I'm just gonna ball change to the theorem here, and you know I dead aced that one, so it's like okay, cool. And then I threw it really good again there too, and I got the 9 out, which is that was honestly like a telling sign. I was like, okay, like that's actually like I'm not upset about that at all. That one held there, so that's good. And this one here, this one hooked really early, and yeah, it didn't do the right thing, unfortunately for me. But whatever. I mean, that 3-bagger there was pretty big, but that would have been really nice to have struck there. Oh, come on, baby, give me that message. Message was delivered. Yo, you know how it is. Oh god. Oh yeah, that lane was hooking early, and I just didn't read that, unfortunately, in time to in time enough to get like a 230. Whatever. So I mean, yeah, obviously the score is not that great, but it is what it is, and I'm just gonna move on to the next. So yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.